Dan, you're a saint.
How are
Thank
you?
you. How you be?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Dan, what's it like being at home right now for so many months with four young children under how old?
Yeah. So I have 7-year-old, twin 3-year-olds, and a 6-month-old.
With young kids, because that's a tough to have that.
Yeah, I think I'm in a different weird position just because I was gone for so long on the road straight that it hasn't I haven't hit that point yet where I'm like, okay, I'm sure it'll come soon, but right now I've just been enjoying the solidarity of it. It's definitely got its moments for sure, 100%. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm a pretty homebody type person and not the most socialite because I get so much of that through work that for me it leaves me wanting kind of just solidarity at home.
So that being said, when does Imagine Dragons go back on tour? I mean, no idea with COVID or
It's all so much up in the air right now because of the circumstances, especially with Imagine Dragons, because our shows are very large gatherings. It it just it's we have to really wait and be careful. So I'm not sure. We've been working on a new record, and that's been a lot of fun. And we've been doing it from our own respective homes. But Wayne and I have kind of been coexisting in solidarity. So that's been helpful. And I don't know, it's been a really creative time for me. I've been extremely creative for the last year between music and then art. I've been designing a computer game and just enjoying the process of figuring out what that is like and teaching myself coding. And it's been a weird, fun thing.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I bet you it was maybe 2 years ago. You and I were in a room in LA for a long meeting about Love Loud, and I watched you. I thought you were just doodling. Like I doodle when I'm sitting through something, and then I saw on Instagram all these drawings, and I'm like, Dan wasn't doodling. You're an artist as well as a musician. I
I
mean,
wouldn't. I mean, I'm more of a. I think the term for it, if it was like, I think it's folk art. I enjoy kind of making, strange, off-looking, cartoony type things. Like I've done it when I was really young. Um, before I got into music at all, I filled all these binders with just characters. Like I would name each person and draw them, and probably made hundreds of these little different characters, and I envisioned their personalities. And I don't know, it's a fun thing for me, and I haven't done it since I was young, so it's been pretty refreshing to kind of get back into it.
it's amazing how many skills some people in this world have. Dang. So are those for the video games, or talk about the video games?
Yeah. It's just one video game that I've kind of been working on, and I'm trying to create kind of a world that's kind of hand drawn, that kind of feels like an escape from reality. And it's fun because I'm able to do all the sound for it, and the music and the voiceovers, and designing the trees and the rocks. And so it's kind of supposed to be like kind of a hand painted world, just kind of like an indie game that's strange and like 70s horror.
I do also want to ask you, are you going to do dinner with Dan? Is that going to be a thing?
It is. We have already set it up. It's starting, I don't know when this comes out, but it starts at the beginning of June, so really soon here. And I'm excited about it. It's basically what we're doing is we're going to sit down at dinner time and have a little Skype call with some of my friends and some people who I haven't met before, who are going to share with us their story of what it's been like growing up as an LGBTQ human in today, and what it was like for them, and hear their stories and kind of shine a light, put a spotlight on people to hear their own experience, and to hopefully share with parents. This is especially, I think, aimed at families and parents, to kind of come and listen and talk about how we can be better as family members, as friends, and especially as parents. When you have a child who's coming out, what does that process look like? What's the best way? What are the good things? What worked? What didn't work? And we're doing it every week of June.
So we just find out about it on Instagram, Love Loud
Yeah,
site.
I'll be listening about it really soon with all the dates and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Sure.
Is this mic right here the mic that you're writing music?
This is the mic. Yeah, this is where I do everything. Is right in this room. I have like my little keyboard, and there, you can't see here, but there's a bunch of like sound equipment here on the ground, and it's just how I've always created music. Is just at home. I really don't like studios. They're claustrophobic for me. They're usually like dark, and I'm really night blind, and everybody likes to keep their studio like vibey. But for me, my vibe is like a window that's open. I can see outside. I see a little bit of, like grass, and like that for me is my place of creation. Just being at home and just writing, creating from nothing. Yeah.
Hey, okay, so Love Loud. What's going happening with Love Loud, because you can't do the concert?
This has been a really wild year, I think, for everybody who is in the world of charitable causes and things like that. It's just out of the cards for this year. It wouldn't be safe or right to do something like that. So we are not stopping. We still are a team that is highly focused on our goal of making a safer community for our LGBTQ youth. Next year, we can be even better and put on another great concert. And in the meantime, hopefully provide some literature and talk and love for our LGBTQ youth.
It's awesome. I do have to tell you that right before going on this, I've got a bunch of little boys who are 12 in my backyard. So I said, you got to be quiet, because guess who I'm interviewing? And they're all, no way. And they are all talking about the Love Loud concerts they went to, and what was their favorite part. And, we had these wristbands, and we were there both times Imagine Dragons was there, whatever, right? And I just thought, it's so cool because of that experience that you've provided for us. Those boys may not grow up with certain biases that other kids have in this area. And I'm just so grateful for you, Dan, for doing this. It's huge.
That's amazing to hear. And, I think it's just my part of a bunch of other people who've been doing their part, and you've been doing your part, and a million other people in Utah for a long time have been doing their part, and people all across the world. But it's, it's breaking those kind of social just wrongs that have been done for a long time. And I think it has to start at a young age if you really want to make it so it's no longer a thing. Because I think with people who are born with preconceived notions, then you have to relearn, be retaught, and that's a really tricky thing. And so I have a lot of friends now who I've watched slowly move into the world of allyship or just open their minds, and it's not just like someone wakes up and says, okay, I'm going to change my entire mindset, and now I understand, it's actually fine to love anyone, and people love different people, and like you can have that realization, but the actions are so imprinted in you from this social world that we live in, that these people are learning from a young age. So we kind of have to do the opposite, with these young kids, show them at a very young age that to love is to love, and I think then you set them up for not having to relearn it at a different time, and it'll be a nothing to them. It won't even be a topic. Like when someone brings it up, they'll be like, I didn't even know people talk about that. Why?
But it always takes leaders. And, I know that for years, my husband and I would sit in our house going, when is someone with a real voice going to stand up for these youth who are LGBTQ and adults who are LGBTQ? And it was just so awesome to see you come, to choose to do Believer around this, and then to start Love Loud. I mean, I can't imagine the courage, and that someone would take their time when they don't need to have a real impact on those who are vulnerable. And I just want to say thank you again, because I see the impact here in Utah every day. Well, Dan, anything else you can think of that we need to hear about going on in your life, or?
I just I would just say to any of the LGBTQ youth who are watching this that I love you, and I think of you all the time. And this is a long fight that we're all in together, and I feel proud to be on your side, and will always be fighting for you in any way possible. And I hope to see you in person soon at some event in Utah or wherever you are around the world, and definitely at Love Loud next year. And hopefully we'll have some dinner sessions coming up here soon.